Hey, so I wanted to talk through exactly how we implemented these paginated reports. I think this will hopefully give us a lot more flexibility when dealing with super large data sets. I implemented two of those to start with. We've got the paginated transaction list. This is actually the transaction list with splits report. And then we've also got the paginated general ledger. What you're looking at is our test environment. This is about to release in our production environment, but wanted to give you a preview here. So there's a couple of parameters you're already going to be familiar with, start date, end date. And then once we get into these bottom two, this is going to be the way that the quote-unquote pagination works. So what pagination means is that each page, so to speak, is one report. They just get stacked on top of another. So as you can see, this is actually one GL report just stacked on top of another with different time periods for each one. So here we've got checking, but we've also got checking all the way up at the top here. Your start date and end date, that's going to be your total date range. So this report is going to encompass that total range. Your pagination period here, or your page period, I guess we called it, is going to be months, days, weeks, years. Basically, you want to pick the largest period that will allow the report to run properly and effectively, because each chunk of data will be one page of this. And then your page size is the number of this thing. So in this case, we're running 3-month chunks. So because this is a 1-year report, it should take the whole thing down in 4 equal chunks. So give it a second to run here, and you'll see that these should all spit out. 2, 3, 4. Now, if we were to do something crazy like 3 days at a time, you're going to end up with a much longer, slower report. Now, because this is a general ledger, there's a certain number of rows that are just taken up with start balance, end balance, that kind of thing. Obviously, if you were to run the transaction list report, that's going to be a much more sort of efficient way of getting the same data. I'm going to hop over to here. It's the exact same thing. You can see I've already run a report here while this crazy report I just queued up is in the background. And you should be able to go fetch data for sort of larger data sets all at once. In this case, there's only 2 transaction lists being pulled down, but there's a lot more data. Should give you the flexibility that you need. So if you need to do an inception to date report on the yearly or on the monthly, do we have quarters? No, we don't, but weeks, if months are even too big for you, should be a way of just going and fetching all the data that you need from these much more complex accounts without hitting the report size limit.